Hi, I'm Pete, and this is the next stop on our tour of the Bermuda planets. This is Bermuda Mars. So let's take a close look at Bermuda Mars. We have a face on the top that turns, and a face here that turns. And what we find is that there are no other phases on the puzzle that will turn. So this is a very heavily bandaged puzzle. What you'll see here, if you take a close look at it, you have a triangular face, another triangular face, and another triangular face. That's right, they are absolutely gripping this puzzle with heavily bandaged faces, making it very, very challenging, but we can get around that. Now, the other thing to notice about these triangular faces is that they all have one fissure corner. Now, a fissure corner, of course, actually is an edge with two corner pieces. It behaves more like an edge, but when it's turned to its solved state, it looks like a corner. Whenever you have a triangular face, there are actually two configurations you'll see in the Bermuda series, either two fissure corners, which will be on the short legs of the triangle, or as in this case, one fissure corner, which is always going to be on the long edge of the triangle. A hypotenuse for fans of geometry. So the fissure corner, because there's only one, it's pretty easy to figure out where it goes here. It's always going to be on this long edge, and that's true of all three triangles. So in order to get the most room and the most maneuverability, our top will be orange, and for the most part we'll put green to the front. That gives us a nice R turn with the white face. Sometimes we'll shift things around and we'll do this, and it may seem a little bit counterintuitive because you can't really do an R turn, but this little trick, if you turn the white face 90 degrees, now you have that turns, that turns, and that turns. So that's a very handy configuration for this puzzle. Okay. So that's the basics, and I guess the next step is for us to scramble this up and get started solving Bermuda Mars. Okay, we're ready to start scrambling Bermuda Mars. Now remember, we're going to hold it so that the U layer is the orange, and if you want to start scrambling, I'll actually give you a quick way to kind of unbandage the D layer, because that's the hardest one to get to. If you just flip all the triangles around, then you'll be able to move the red D layer, so it makes things a little bit easier anyway. Depending on if you have the short legs facing two edges, that will unbandage them, unless, like in this case, the U layer is being blocked by that one. So it is quite possible to sort of see which layers will be able to turn based on the orientation of the triangles. It sort of helps. Now, to get these fissure corners out of the way, you just kind of have to turn the long edge, the hypotenuse, up a little bit. Okay. So hopefully you'll be able to get a good scramble. I think scrambling it may actually help understand a little bit anyway on how the puzzle actually works, and might let you get a bit more out of it. So spend some time scrambling it and just trying different things. Yeah, so this D layer, really, we don't use it very much in the solve. Likewise, the green, I've never actually been able to unbandage the green, so it may be possible, but I've never tried it, just because it's not really necessary. All right, let's see if I can get some of these. Yeah, so you want a good scramble, and you know, if you don't get a super great scramble the first couple of times, it'll be fine. Eventually, you'll be able to scramble it. You'll understand how it moves a little better, maybe. Okay, whoops. So I'm just trying to break up the fissure edges, and as best I can here. And now I've sort of bandaged the thing up a little bit. There we go. Okay. And something's blocking me here, so I will, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. It actually turns quite sprightly. Yeah, the Bermuda series is just so always been a nice turners. Never had any problems with them. Okay, so I want the back and the top to turn, so that's what I'm going to do now. There we go. I just want to get some of this, some of these orange ones off to the top. There we are. All right, I think we can probably call that scrambled now. All right. Okay, so there is the Bermuda cube scrambled, and when we come back, it'll be time to solve it. Okay, we're back with our scrambled Bermuda Mars. Now, remember we said we'd use orange as the U, the top. And on these Bermuda puzzles, very often there's one critical piece that has to be placed first, and it's kind of like putting your boots on before you put your pants on. If you don't get that right, then you're going to have to just really start over, right? And so in this case, the critical piece is the red-green edge that goes right there. That's really hard to move, and which is good, because once you put it in there, it's not going anywhere. And that's because I've never figured out how to unbandage the green, and the red requires 3 of these triangular faces to be lined up perfectly to get it to turn. So I don't use the red very often. In fact, I use it for this one thing. So we need the red-green edge. We'll find it, and what I want to do with the red-green edge is I want to put it on the U layer with the red facing up. That's all I gotta do. Okay, so there it is. It's on the U layer with the red facing up. That's all I really care about, except that I can't turn it off. So because I can't turn it off, I gotta unbandage this a little bit. Okay. Okay, so it was the U layer was, sorry, the yellow was bandaging the U layer. So now I've got this. Now if you want the U layer to turn freely, the best position for all of these is with the arrow pointing up to the left. Now this one, now we can definitely turn, and I'll just put it with the arrow turning up to the left. Okay, so now I have my green and red, and I actually want it to go down here. So with this yellow pointing up and to the left, I'm going to position the green and red right over top of it. So everything else is pointing up and to the left. Now I'm going to flip these all over so they're pointing down and to the right. And what that does is it does 2 things. One is it unbandages the D layer, but it also gives me that green and red into the right position. It came off of this. So now that's there. We don't have to think about it again. That's going to be there for all of eternity, basically. Now, the next thing we want to do here, one nice thing about the fissure corners being on a hypotenuse is that they're almost impossible to accidentally break up. If you put them on the short legs, the fissure corners, it's quite easy to turn and slice through a 3-piece edge. But because the hypotenuse is kind of hard, it's hard to split a piece. You can move the whole assembly off, but it's much harder to accidentally munch a corner on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the fissure corners, I'm going to assemble them and place them, and I'm going to do it in order from yellow, blue, and white, and that is moving around the back of the puzzle, keeping in mind that we're going to have U as our orange. So what I want now is a yellow to match this yellow here. I'm going to use what I find useful. I'm going to set this yellow just to face up and to the right. And now what I find useful is to have the white and blue pointing at each other. which gives us a lot of maneuverability, and it gives us 3 faces that turn. So I see my yellow right there. That's the one I want. So depending on how things go, I want a red and yellow corner piece. Or if I see a green and yellow, then I'll flip it around and do that one first. So there's my red and yellow. We got to go looking for it. It's over. It's stuck on the hypotenuse over here. So I'm going to turn it up now. I'm just going to try something here. This almost never happens. Yeah, it happened. So it would just happen to be in the right position, which is perfect. I'm going to turn this off. Now I'm going to turn this back away. And but that's basically the strategy. You're just looking for ways to join these two pieces. Now, if I want to put the yellow and green in order to do that, it's best that it be on this leg, and I'll show you why. I'm just going to put this over here. I'm going to put these two pieces are assembled, and so I'm going to turn this. And so now I can turn the U layer without affecting those, and I can also do some corner. I can use this white as well to rotate any corners. Now what I'm looking for is the yellow and green, and there it is on that hypotenuse. So easy enough to get off here. And now again, I'm just going to see if I need to rotate this. And this I swear that this almost never happens where they both just go in like that. But anyway, that's fine. We have 2 more to do, so you'll get to see me rotate these corners. Usually I have to rotate the corner. So now that this edge is done, we have a little bit of wiggling around to do to get it onto the hypotenuse over here. I'm just going to move it out of harm's way. And now if I turn the blue right now, it's going to munch it. So I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to move it further from harm's way. And because I want the yellow to be able to turn and the U, I'm just going to move it so that these two short legs are aligned with the U and the yellow layer. Okay, so now I can turn it again out of harm's way, and all I have to do is just turn it up so the hypotenuse is visible, and there we go. So that's our first fissure corner, and that's not going to go anywhere. Hi there. I'm just going to break into the ongoing solve here to give you a bit more info on how to assemble these fissure composite edges. We got kind of lucky or unlucky, and things were kind of easy. So this is my edge, I need it to be sticking straight up. That's really kind of one of the important parts of this. It makes things a lot easier when we go to insert it. The other thing is I want the blue and the white both pointing at each other with the orange layer on top. That's a good place to start with these. Now I'm just going to assemble these, and I have a red, yellow, and there's my red, yellow. So if I look at this, I can see that if this was standing up right now, then it would actually fit onto that piece. So now what I need to do is rotate it so it'll be standing up. So I'm going to hide it out of the way. And you can rotate it using really any method. So now that actually worked to rotate it, but it would actually be even better if this piece was right there when I rotated it in. Okay, and I can actually make that happen. I have to rotate this piece without knocking that out. So I'm going to use the hypotenuse here. I'm going to rotate that in. And so now when I rotate the whole thing, there it is. It's all assembled. Okay, so that's one way to rotate pieces. Another way is just to rotate it separately using these two faces. So we can find the other piece here, and that's going to be the green and yellow. So I got it, and now when I take a look at it, yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to install it. Oh, okay. I laid this piece down, and then I just installed it like that. Okay. Another way, if you have a piece that needs to be rotated, it's certainly possible to do it. And I can sort of show you. You'd basically put the piece here, you rotate it down, rotate it back up using the white face, unbandage the blue face using the hypotenuse of the white face, and then put the white face back and turn the piece off. So it is quite possible to rotate these just using the blue and the white faces. Okay, well, I'll bring you back to the solve, and hopefully that is a bit more information for you. So next up, remember, we're going to go yellow, blue. So blue is next. So I got to find the blue Fisher. There it is right there. Now, if it wasn't standing straight up like that, I would just do a maneuver like that to rotate it. Because we want it sticking straight up, because eventually we have to put it in there. It's a lot easier to reorient it while it's just one piece rather than waiting until I get three, and then it's a little more complicated. So the piece we want to put right here is actually stuck on that side, and then the piece we want there is they're right next to each other. That's fine. What I think I'll do is I'll separate those two. There we go. Okay, so now that's been separated. And I'll put this one on first. So again, if I'm going to do this piece, I want it on the back leg so I can turn it down, and now we're matching the blue and yellow this way. So I turn it, and now we see we have a corner. It belongs here, but it's not oriented correctly. So how can I change the orientation of it? Well, in this particular case, normally I would turn this face, but I don't have another turn here. I can't then turn it off. So I'm going to have to move it onto the white face, unblock it, and now I'll turn it one turn. Okay, and that didn't work, but that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to use the back of that to give me an out for that piece. Okay, so the piece is we turned it, but it wasn't enough, so we got to turn it one more time. Alright, well, I can actually do the same thing again. Basically, I'll do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to use the hypotenuse to give me an edge here. I'm going to flip it. Okay, and okay, yeah, I think we got it. Alright, getting lost in the fog here. So now I've just turned it off. And I did flip it, it was not in the right position to just immediately turn into place. But I rotated it twice, and now it lines up perfectly. So now that we have that done, I can move this piece now to the back leg, or to the other leg, so that when I turn it this way, we can access this corner right here. And we're looking for a blue and red. Now, it was there. Oh, there it is. So I'll get it. Okay, and it didn't work, but that's okay. Now this one, okay, let's see. I want to do this without. Okay, so I rotated it. Okay, I think I've rotated it twice, so I'm not quite sure what that will do for us, but okay, and I don't want to lose track of which piece is which. Okay, well, it didn't quite work. Let's see now. If I rotate it one more time, that should be correct. So, all right, let's see here. I just gotta. So what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to flip it over, but I don't want to munch this assembly. I could actually, if I wanted to. It's not bad, but it really doesn't. It doesn't really get me anywhere. So I might as well not do that. So let's see. What I will do. Okay, well that wasn't too bad. Now I'm just going to use the hypotenuse to unbandage this face. And now I just got to see what I ended up with. Okay. No, I think it's still need to work on it a bit more. Okay, we'll try it some more. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I think I'm inadvertently. Okay, I got this now. Yeah, what I've been doing is I've been accidentally, because of where I've got it positioned, I've been rotating it and then unrotating it. Sorry about that. Let's see. Sometimes you just... There we go. All right, now can I... Okay, so what I want to do here is rotate it without having this in the way. So now I think I can do it. So all I want it to do is be standing up. There you go. Except that now I need to be on this back edge, and you'll see why. Okay, so I've now moved the piece so that when I rotate it, I have another edge that I can move it out of the way, and that was what I was doing wrong. All right, I think I got my ducks in a row now. Yep. Okay, so now I've got everything sorted out, and after a little bit of messing around, I have the edge assembled. Okay, so now because it's a blue and edge, it goes right here, Fisher edge, and that was easy enough, and Mars is coming together. Okay, well, let's take a look at the white. That's the last one to do, and we're sort of running out of room, but it's not actually so bad because we can still use the we can still use this blue face. Just can't use that hypotenuse. Now, this is a case where the fissure corner is it's in the wrong orientation, so easy enough to flip. And then I have one of the pieces right here, the other one is on the hypotenuse, so I might as well just I might as well just go for the one I have. So the problem I was having before is I was rotating these corners, and because I didn't want to because this was in the way, I was doing something that sort of wasn't very helpful, basically, is what I will say about that. Okay, but I think I have the recipe now. Okay, whoops, maybe I don't. Yeah, I'm just running out of room here, that's all. Okay, does that should work? No, it doesn't work. Okay, so when I do the exact same thing I just did. I'm going to flip that over. Okay, that should be good now. Yeah, actually that is exactly what I want. Okay, so all I did was I hid that piece out of the way, and now it should go in. So it's, you know, a little bit of messing with it, but eventually it always works out. So now I want to move this piece to this side, and now I can work on putting in the red and the white. Now the red and the white's here, so I'll just it's not gonna work. I think I'm gonna have to move this off first. There we go. Okay, now I should be able to get at that. Oh, it just went in place, so that's beautiful. Okay, I'll take that kind of luck. That happens sometimes. So now that I have the edge completely assembled, it goes on the hypotenuse, and should be fairly straightforward, the last one. And there you go. This is really coming together quite nicely. So the next step is to assemble this green-white edge and corner. And when we come back, I will show you how that works. Okay, we're back and ready to continue solving Bermuda Mars. The next step is to put this edge and corner in. And to do that, I'm going to have my U layer as orange. And basically front will be white and right will be blue, but I'm going to rotate the front one turn, so that's an F turn, which means that the edge and corner will eventually go there, but all we have to do is assemble it, get it on the U layer, and then it'll go in place. So what I need then is the white and green, and you see here that's the right piece, but it's flipped. So the first thing I will do then is I will flip it over just with this little move. Alright, so now the piece is correct, and it so happens that the correct piece is right there, So you know, we could do a couple of things to fix that, but I'm just going to use a corner rotation, kind of a standard um, finishing when you're assembling corners and edges on a standard Rubik's Cube. So in this case, this is a little easier to see when I'm rotating things. So what I'm going to do is just turn this corner up. There we go. That was one rotation. And see if I can possibly, yeah, so now it's facing out. So if I was to somehow get the piece that I need right there, then that would be correct. I could just somehow put it into place. So let's see how I can do this. All right, so I'm going to hide everything. I'm going to expose this piece here. So now I can stash this corner away, and theoretically now if I can turn everything and put this here, when I turn it up, boom, it's assembled. Okay, so I'm going to hide everything out of the way, and now let's take stock. So now I have the edge and corner assembled. All I did was I rotated the corner once and then joined them together, just using standard techniques. Now remember, this piece doesn't go here, it actually goes right there. So I'm just going to turn it into place. Everything's all lined up. Turn this back, and if we take a look at things, this is looking pretty spiffy here because everything's solved except the U layer. So the U layer is going to be the standard Rubik's 3x3. We're going to do corner orientation, corner permutation. We'll do corner placement and corner orientation. And the algorithms will be beginner's versions of all of these algorithms with very slight variations due to the fact that we have some bandaging. All right, so when we come back, we will finish off the upper layer of Bermuda Mars. All right, we're ready to finish solving Bermuda Mars. Everything's solved except the U layer. So we're going to use standard permutation method. If we saw this on a regular 3x3 with these pieces are correct and those aren't, then what we would do is probably use F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Well, it so happens that we can do that. If we put the U as orange and F as white, then we can actually do this algorithm. You have to put your good pieces to the up and back and to the left, and then we'll just do it. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And notice now we have a bar, which tells us to do the same thing again. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Okay, pretty slick, eh? So now we have the top layer and all of the edges are oriented correctly. We have one good edge, 3 bad ones, which means we have to do edge permutation. And for that, we're going to do Sune. Now again, this is a nice feature of having one of these triangular faces because we can do R turns. So if we make that right, so now we're going to have green as the front, white as a right, and U as orange. So the good piece we had was yellow, so I'm going to put it to the front, and now I'm going to do a standard Sune, which is R, U, R prime, U, R, 2U, R prime. And now we'll check and see if we got them. Yeah, we got them. They're good. If you don't have them, you just do that again. If you have 2 good ones, you want to turn it so that there are no good ones and do it twice. Okay, we're back and we have our edges in place, and now it's time to do our corner permutation and corner orientation, which we're going to do in 2 steps. Now I'll hold the puzzle so that U is orange, F is the green face, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look around for a corner that's good. And if I have a good corner, then I want to put it in the front left. You just turn the U front left. Now it so happens that the corner was already there. Now if you have no good corners, it's fine. It just means you're going to have to do the algorithm twice. Okay. So now the algorithm then requires, now that we have that, and this is a critical step, now you have to rotate the puzzle so that blue is our U and orange is our F, and any good corner is down in the, now it's going to be down here. Okay, so we'll just do that temporarily. So we're going to use the beginner's corner 3 cycle, but it's modified because we have these funky U layers here. So it's going to be R, U prime, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L, U2, R prime. All right, well, let's take a look at what happened. This one didn't change. None of our edges changed. And it doesn't look like our corners got into place, so we'll just do it again. Still good, so we'll turn it down and we'll just do that algorithm one more time. R, U prime, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L, U2, R prime. Alright, let's take a look. Okay, that one's good, that one's good, that one's good and oriented, and that one's good as well. So, wow, okay, so that's probably the most complicated algorithm. You might find the corner orientation one complicated too, but it's based on the beginner's corner 3 cycle, which you're probably familiar with. Okay, so when we come back, we will take a look at the corner orientation and the last step for Bermuda Mars. Okay, we're back, and Bermuda Mars is almost solved. We have all our edges in, all our corners are placed properly, and now they just have to be oriented. Now the algorithm I'm going to do is a standard one that's used on puzzles where you only have 2 faces, and it uses a Sune and a kind of a backhand Sune to rotate 2 corners on the upper left. We have to modify a little bit because on our puzzle we can only do right moves on this face, and we're going to get around the fact that we have to do start with a left for the second half of that algorithm by rotating the puzzle and using the white face as our R. So we're going to start with U is orange, F is going to be white. And what we're going to do is put the 2 pieces that we want to rotate, we're going to start them on the back, U, B. So we're going to rotate those 2 first. Okay, and my reasoning for that is that we're going to go around the puzzle this way. We'll get that one solved, and then we'll be left with 2. So these are the 2 that are going to be rotated. So we start with this, and now we got to do a setup move. And the setup move is just do F, and then we're going to do U prime. And all it does is it puts the 2 pieces we're interested in the proper position. So now we're just going to do the standard first half of the Sune, which is just R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. So that was the first half of the standard Sune, and then we do U2 to set things up for the second half. Now normally then you'd start with your backhand part of it, but we can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate the puzzle so that white is on the right, F is green. Now because we rotated the puzzle that way, we want to rotate this whole thing this way. So we're going to do a U as a setup move, and now we're going to do the backhand Sune, which is just R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R, and now it's U2, U prime to undo the setup move. We're going to turn the puzzle so that the white is back, and now we're going to undo both of our setup moves, which was we do a U, and we'll do an F prime. Now you can, some of these are a little bit redundant because there are some U-turns that cancel each other out, but they're distinct parts of one algorithm, so I do them separately. You can combine them if you want to speed cube it. But let's see what's happened here. Notice that we only have 2 pieces left. We got 2 of them rotated properly, which probably wasn't what I wanted to do. I'm not really sure. Let's see, how did we have it? Yeah, that was good. Okay, you know what happened? That one ended up getting solved, and that was the one that I wanted to get solved, so that's fine, right? We'll just apply that algorithm again, and it should solve that one, okay? So, again, we start with the white. We go, the 2 pieces we want to rotate are on the back. We'll do an F turn. We'll do a U prime. Now they're over here. We'll do our Sune. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Now we'll do the U2 that we are required to do for this technique. We will then rotate the puzzle, do a U to compensate for that rotation, and now do the backhand Sune. R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R. Now we'll do our U2, and we'll do the U prime to compensate for the setup move. Rotate the puzzle back. Do our U and our F prime to undo that initial setup move. And now you see we're in perfect position. We just have one more set of corners to rotate. Okay. So this is the standard algorithm we're doing to rotate 2 corners. We're just using 2 different faces to do each half of the algorithm. Seems a little complicated, but once you get the hang of it, it's not bad at all. So let's try that one more time then. So we have F, U prime, and now we're ready to do our first half of the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. We'll do U2. Now we rotate, compensate, and now we'll do the inverse of the algorithm. R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R, U2. That was the algorithm. And now we have to undo our setup moves. So it's going to be U prime, rotate our puzzle, and now we'll undo the setup moves, U and F prime. And as you can see, Bermuda Mars is solved. And hopefully that wasn't too challenging for you. I hope that you can see that there's some strategies that you need to use to be successful on this. But that really, until you get into the U layer, there's no real serious algorithms. And then even the U layer, it's all just beginner algorithms, just modified for use on this bandaged cube. The critical piece is to get this green red edge in first. Then it's important to get these fissure corners in next. Once you do that, there's a relatively easy step of the edge and corner here. And then we went on to do a very straightforward beginner method to orient our edges, a Sune to permute the edges, and then just some modified versions of beginner corner 3 cycles and corner orientation. So that's Bermuda Mars. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're successful in solving your puzzle. If you have any problems, any comments, any questions, suggestions, please leave me some feedback in the comments. I do read those. I appreciate all the feedback I get, and I answer whenever I can. So that's it for Bermuda Mars. Stay tuned for the next installment, and until next time, thanks for watching.